This watch, I got here, was first purchased by your great-grandfather during the First World War. It was bought in a little general store in Knoxville, Tennessee. Made by the first company to ever make wristwatches. Up till then, people just carried pocket watches. It was bought by private doughboy Orion Coolidge on the day he set sail for Paris. This was your great-grandfather's war watch, and he wore it every day he was in that war. He'd done his duty, went home to your great-grandmother, took the watch off in an old coffee can, and in that can it stayed. Till your granddad, Dane Coolidge, was called upon by his country to go overseas and fight the Germans once again. It's time to call it World War II. Great-grandfather gave this watch to your granddad for good luck. Unfortunately, Dane's luck wasn't as good as his old man's. Dane was a Marine, and he was killed, along with all the other Marines at the Battle of Wake Island. Granddad was facing death. He knew it. None of those boys had any illusions, but they were leaving that island alive, so 3 days before the Japanese took the island, your granddad asked a gunner on an Air Force transport named Wanaki, man he'd never met before in his life, to deliver to his infant son, we'd never seen in the flesh, his gold watch. 3 days later, your granddad was dead, but Wanaki kept his word. After the war was over, he paid a visit to your grandmother, delivering to your infant father his dad's gold watch. This watch. This watch was on your daddy's wrist when they were shot down at Hanoi. He was captured, put in a Vietnamese prison camp. He knew that if the gooks ever saw the watch, it'd be confiscated, taken away. The way your dad looked at it, this watch was your birthright. He'd be damned if any slope's gonna put the greasy yellow hands on his boy's birthright, so he hid it. In one place he knew he could hide something, his ass. 5 long years he wore this watch, up his ass. Then he died of dysentery. He gave me the watch. I hid this uncomfortable hunk of metal up my ass 2 years. And after 7 years, I was sent home to my family. Little man, I gave the watch to you.
What's up, everybody? Here I am. Good old Tim Oceans. I figured I'd do some witching hour. Been a little under the weather recently, so I've missed out on a couple of the last shows. I'm feeling a lot better today. I think I might have got a little dose of the Rona. I went and got tested, but they said it would be like 3 to 5 days before I got any results back, and I can't get the rapid test. I can't find it anywhere, or I would have done that for sure. But yeah, that first day was unbelievably rough. Like, the first day was it just came out of nowhere too. Just a lot of pain, man, and fatigue, headache, a lot of pain in my lower back. And then every day since then, it's gotten progressively better. But, like, actually getting it and then thinking about, like, all the dudes in the NFL, it's remarkable to me that they come back so quickly and, like, play at a high level because, like, I still kind of feel crummy. And it's been, like, 3 or 4 days since. So I'm in the midst of quarantining and, staying hydrated, getting a lot of fluids and shit. But we'll see if it was the Rona or not. It really screwed up my holidays too, man. Like, I didn't get to spend any time with my family or my loved ones, and it was really lame. Missed betting on balls. But there's a silver lining to all that. And that is, I made it to the last round of fantasy football. Not in just one league, but in both my leagues. In my standard league and my PPR league, I'm in the finals. So that's awesome. That's really all you can hope for. And they're cash leagues, prize leagues in both leagues. So I'm in the money either way. And this one's kind of just for all the glory. In my regular league, the league I've been in for like 10 years now, there's a trophy too. So you win a bunch of money and you win the trophy. And so I'm hoping for that for sure. I've won one, but it was literally my first year ever playing was the only trophy I've won. And I've won in other leagues, but I've never won since in my standard league. So yeah, I figured I was actually like feeling pretty decent, so I'd kind of hop on here. And I've been really sick of just like laying in the bed all the time, and so I needed something to do to take my mind off of it. I figured we'd do the same stuff we always do. I'm gonna pull up the fantasy stuff and we can look at that, and then I'll look at Midtown maybe. We'll talk some comics, but I might either play some Magic, which I got a request to do Magic, so I figured I might play some what do you call it, Brawl. And I noticed like their whole layout had changed like when I opened it up and looked at it, or I might go do some runs on Diablo, do some chaos runs or something if there's some groups going, maybe cows. We'll see. Let's see what we got rocking in the fantasy. So this is the championship. This is the last game. It's truly win or go home. I'm really happy either way. Obviously, I'd love to win. That'd be great. But just like I said the last time, I mean, you can't predict this shit. Like it's just too difficult. And while I feel like I'm in a good position to win this game, you don't know. I mean, all my guys could totally shit the bed, and you're in it for another season. I've kind of thought that maybe this might be my last year playing. I wrap a lot of emotion into it, way more than I should for something that I can't like control at all. And I've noticed that like when I'm down a lot, like I feel really crummy, and so it makes it not that fun for me anymore. But I love the sport and I love the game, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But as of right now, and I've kind of thought this for pretty much the whole season, this might be my very last game of fantasy football for a while. Like I'm not saying I'll never come back to it, but I just tie a lot of emotional garbage into it that it's really not necessary, and I can't really affect the outcome one way or the other. And so I feel good about it, though. I feel good about this matchup this week, but that doesn't really mean a lot, So we'll see. I got Rodgers, obviously, Lamb, Higgins. So Higgins last week, I didn't play him, and he ended up he almost put up 200 yards and scored a shitload of touchdowns. I'm not real sure. It was a ton, man. He had 194 yards, which is unbelievable. It's his biggest game of the year, and 2 touchdowns. So he ended up putting up 31 points on my bench. And I still ended up winning by a pretty wide margin, but it sure would have been nice to have that. Instead, I played Tyler Lockett, who did nothing. And so even though I feel like Tyler Lockett has a great matchup this week against Detroit, I'm going to run with Higgins, man. I mean, why not? It's such a crapshoot anyway, and I feel like it's Kansas City, so even though the defense it's fair against the pass, it's going to have to be a high-scoring game, and Cincinnati has a high-scoring offense, and so you would think that some of that's going to go through Higgins, but it's kind of been like he's been great but a lot of the times I haven't gotten those points out of him because he's been kind of inconsistent all year. Now, towards the end of the year, he's really put it on, and maybe I should have more faith in him. Because Lockett started out that way. Like, he started out with 20-point games, and then he trailed off. Whereas Higgins, it's taken him all year to kind of build up to this point, and now he looks like it's almost hard to tell who the number one wide receiver there is. I mean, I think Jamar Chase still has more points, but Higgins has a shitload too, and a shitload of yards. So I'm going to go with him this week. I really hope he has a good game, and if he does, I think that I'll probably win this week. So I noticed that all my opponent's guys play on Sunday. So I'll know what the score is by the end of Sunday. I think his last guys to go are Crosby and Kirk Cousins. And so I've got Aaron Rodgers in that game, who will be, going right up against Kirk Cousins. So I'll be watching that one for sure. CeeDee Lamb at Arizona. Man, CeeDee Lamb has been not great recently. He's kind of like Lockett in the sense that, when you see CeeDee Lamb's potential, when he does have a good game, he tends to have a really good game, but you can see he's definitely trailed off these last three: 8 points, 5 points, 7 points. However, it says here Arizona has given up the 8th most fantasy points to wide receivers. Hopefully that means he's going to be in for a big game. He needs it because my opponent has maybe the top 2 wide receivers in the NFL right now. For my money, I'm still taking Tyreek Hill, but Diggs and Cooper Kupp, they deserve to be mentioned in that same echelon. The way I would tier it out is kind of Hill above everybody else, and then I would put Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs right under him. But Jamar Chase, I would throw in that mix too. Anyway, I got Montgomery, who he had a really good game last week. Let's hope that he does the same thing. New York Giants are middling. Sometimes their defense is really good, and sometimes it's middling. I don't really have another word for it. Mark Andrews at the Rams, he's just a must start. He's going to be considered the best tight end going into next year, I feel like, even over Kelsey. And his ability is, to me, they're tit for tat. I would actually kind of give the edge to Mark Andrews, especially as a pass catcher. Kelsey might be more of a better tight end overall, kind of like Gronkowski is, or was. It's kind of hard to put Gronkowski in that echelon now, even though he's still good. There was just a point in time where Gronk was far and away the best tight end in the league. But I like Mark Andrews a lot. Ronnie Jones at the Jets. You can't go wrong with that. Ronnie Jones was not only serviceable last week, but he was good. And for a guy who really hasn't played all year, for him to come in and he scored a touchdown, put up a serviceable amount of yards, I think for Tampa Bay, you're going to see a lot more Ronnie Jones for sure. And even though they picked up Le'Veon Bell, it was apparent that he's really just there as a backup if they need him. He's not there to carry the ball or do work. Now watch, I say that, and it'll be the Le'Veon Bell show. It'll be 5 years ago, and he'll go off for 100 yards or something. I really hope that's not the case. And I liked what I saw out of Ronnie Jones last week, so hopefully that continues. I've got the Kansas City kicker, Harrison Butker. He's pretty good. Kansas City, they just have a good offense in general, and so I'm kind of just hedging my bets that is going to be a high-scoring game. Hopefully, I know obviously he's going to get extra points, but hopefully there's a field goal or two mixed in there somewhere as well. It'd be great. New Orleans at Carolina. I like this matchup a lot. New Orleans has shown that their defense is really, really strong. Uh, I like it. I'm gonna roll with it, and I think that Carolina is pretty bad, and so I have a hard time calling it a blowout because Carolina's offense, or I'm sorry, New Orleans offense is so suspect, and I am just not sold on Taysom Hill. But um, I think they'll do good. I think that they'll put up some decent points. We shall see. I got Bobby Wagner as my defensive player. So in this league, we have like one defensive player. Typically, you're just like if they get an interception and run it for a touchdown, well, you just you just scored a shitload of points. That rarely happens. I've seen it happen, and I've actually seen it win a championship in this league before. But it's very rare. It hardly ever happens. You're mostly with the defensive players. You're mostly just counting on that they get a bunch of tackles because they get points for each tackle. So you generally go with a linebacker, somebody who's going to get a bunch of tackles. And not for nothing, he's got a gravy train matchup. My opponent has some good matchups along the way, but I feel like his running backs are a little suspect. I don't know what the deal is with what's the guy's name? Daryl Henderson. Maybe he's just out. Maybe he's injured. I'm not sure. If that's the case, then Sony Michel should have a decent game. I'm just hoping that, and Daniel Hilliard. There's no. You couldn't pay me enough money to run Daniel Hilliard, but maybe I'll be wrong on that one. Who knows? Nick Chubb, on the other hand, I think that. So I've said it before. To me, when a defense meets another defense, when they're two good defenses, generally there's a lot of time management in those games, and the ball tends to get run a lot. And so I think that this could be one of those games. It could be like a Nick Chubb versus Najee Harris type game. Chubb had a great game last week. Did a lot to win me that game to put me in the finals here. So I'm really stoked about that. And that's pretty much it. Rodgers is questionable, but he's been questionable the last 4 or 5 games, so I'm not that worried about it. I know he's playing on a broken toe right now, but man, it has not seemed to affect him much at all. I mean, he's been playing lights out, and so I hope that trend continues this week against Minnesota. Minnesota's pass defense is not really all that great, and I think that trend's going to continue. I'm really hoping that it does. I'm expecting. It's so hard to sustain like those high levels of success in the NFL, but Rodgers is kind of one of the few guys that seems to play through it. And he's had a couple of bad games this year, but even his bad games, he tends to get, 12, 13, 14 points. So hopefully he has a big one this week. I'm really counting on him. Like I said, I really hope I can win, but it's just too hard to predict. You don't know what's going to happen in these kind of games, especially the playoffs, man. I've gotten to this point so many times into second, and then just one thing goes wrong, or it could be Stephon Diggs puts the knife, or Cooper Kupp, or fucking Sony Michel, who knows, or Gronkowski has a career game. We'll see, but hopefully it's Mark Andrews and Nick Chubb and Aaron Rodgers for the win. So that's my standard league. That's just standard scoring. There is one little tweak to this league in that in most leagues it's a little bit different. But quarterbacks in this league get 6 points for touchdowns. So we call it a quarterback-driven league, but to me it's like they kind of should anyway because they're getting 6 points for the regular team. Why wouldn't they get it on my fantasy team? But that's kind of the only difference as far as the scoring goes in this league. So this is my PPR league. And And you can see I've got a couple of the same guys. I've got C.D. Lamb and David Montgomery. It's a really weird league, and it's just a one shot that I did this year for a prize league. I wanted to do another prize league, and so I jumped in this one. And PPR can tend to be kind of fun. Um, it's honestly, like, I'm a little surprised that like I've made it to the end, but I know why that is, and it's because Devonte Adams has been nothing short of incredible this year. And I've got Kelsey too, so that's just tends to be a really great fit in PPR. You get a shitload of extra points for those receptions. So that's why a guy like Jacoby Myers is actually like very serviceable in PPR. He just gets a ton of receptions. He doesn't have these huge games, but he'll have 8 receptions in a game, and so that's 8 points by itself. Brandon Cooks is the same way, and he's been honestly, Brandon Cooks has kind of been one of the reasons why I feel like I've made it to the end, because I got him really late in the draft. I took him probably in the 11th round or something like that. And he has paid off in dividends, man. Especially in this league, he's just been unbelievable. I mean, all year long. Especially, it seems like in the games where it counts, he starts off strong, and then he ended up having a 30-point game almost. I mean, that's really good. Uh, my running backs have been suspect. I kind of went 0 RB in this draft just to try something new, and it was PPR. I kind of figured I was going to undervalue my running backs anyway because I wanted receptions. Uh, so I've got Montgomery, who I love. If you've heard this show before, you've heard me talk about how awesome I think David Montgomery is. And Damian Harris, who to me is like really good. Like he's always projected for like nothing, like 10 points, and he tends to have really good games. I mean, 17, 25, 14, 12, 17, and then last week he had a 28. But yet they're only predicting him for 10 points against a terrible team. Some of that comes from him playing for New England. And yeah, New England is that constant. They've got this constant thing with their running backs where they're cycling them in, cycling them out. Bill Belichick loves to use multiple running backs in different schemes, but Harris can block, and I feel like that goes a long way in Bill Belichick's eyes because he knows he can keep him down, keep him in there and passing downs as well. And so why would you rotate a guy who is doing everything for you anyway? Not to mention, like, if you watch Harris in the games where he gets fed, he typically has really good games, and you can see this explosive player in him. Way more so. Like, I've been watching the Patriots for 10 fucking years. I've never seen a back like that for New England. Not the whole time I've been watching. And so, I mean, you saw it a little bit with Sony Michel when they drafted Sony Michel. But not like this guy, man. This guy can just, if he breaks that line and breaks that coverage, he's going to take the thing to the house. He's just explosive is the best way I could describe Damian Harris. While he also being a great blocker, just a really good fundamental football player. Yeah, so, CD Lamb. I've already talked about him. And then my boy, it's funny that I've got Aaron Rodgers in the standard league, and I got Tom Brady in this league. He's playing against the Jets this week, and everybody knows how I feel about the Jets, so I hope that he has a great game. My opponent, you can see my opponent's stacked. His wide receivers, to me, are a little suspect. But he has 3 tremendous running backs, and that's really what's gotten him here. And he placed first in the league too. I had a sneaking suspicion throughout the season that it may come down to me and him in the last game. Just kind of how the league shook out, and these are just random dudes. Like I have no clue who these guys are, but just like the moves this guy made and like kind of how he positioned his team even from the draft, I was like, this guy might know what he's doing too. And so I just kind of had a feeling like, this guy might be the competition that I'm stacked up against at the end. He's got good matchups. He's got good players. I think I've got him on my wide receivers. I feel like I've got a little bit better in the flex. Potential wise, keep in mind, like potentially, I have him a little bit better in the flex. I mean, Waddle is Waddle. You know, he's come on strong, Mixon. And who am I kidding, man? I'm gonna have to get lucky in this one. He's got a great team. The only thing I think is a little bit questionable is Michael Pittman Jr. And I think that Antonio Brown, while I love Antonio Brown, that he's one of my favorite players of all time, I still think that I think that Devontae Adams and CeeDee Lamb, that's the only advantage I have on this guy. Because even Kelsey and Kittle, that's pretty tit for tat if you ask me. And my running backs are just going to have a good game. And maybe I catch a break that one of his doesn't do so well. Hopefully it's not Chubb, though. Chubb can still have a good game. Hopefully it's Eckler and Mixon that shit the bed this week. Especially, let's hope that it is Mixon, because then maybe T. Higgins gets fed in the other league. But you don't know. You just don't know. It's impossible to predict this stuff. I can't express how happy I am that I'm feeling better, man. I was really concerned that I was down for the count there for a minute. I didn't know if I was gonna get better. I was taking freaking Tylenol Cold Max like you wouldn't believe, but today was the day where I actually started feeling pretty good. I could kind of feel it, and this is the most I've talked to in 3 days, so I can kind of feel like a little in my voice, but all in all, I'd say I'm feeling 100% better than I was before. If there's any lingering side effects after, I think this is either day 3 or day 4 now, it's fatigue. I'm just really tired. I've slept a lot, and I've just been so sick of being in the damn bed all the time, man. It's brutal. It kills me. I'm not outgoing, but I do a lot during the day, and I work a lot, and it's killing me. I'm kind of the one that's managing the store that's getting put together, and so to put that on the back burner, which is something that's really important to me, has been really hard to do, even though I'm sick. And I don't really have anybody else who will do it for me, or even has the ability to help me. And so, that part's been rough, but, hopefully in the next couple days, I think they changed it to where if you're not showing any symptoms or anything, which other than the fatigue, I'd say I'm pretty much over the brunt of it. I think it's 5 days that you got to quarantine and not do jack shit. But hopefully I can make some calls and at least get some contractors to come in and finish up. I am literally at the last stages of finishing this damn thing. So if I can get through these last little bits, I'll be really happy. And actually, next time, if I remember it, I'll bring some, I'll put some pictures up on the screen of where the store's at and how it's looking. So the last time we were on, I kind of showed you guys what Previews was, what Midtown Comics is. And none of my stuff saved. I could have sworn that I put it all up here in the cart, but nothing saved. But that the last time I did it, the only thing that was on was DC. So now at least everything's up. So I figured I could do the same thing. Just kind of run through this stuff. Look at some comics. Look at some comics, man. That's kind of a cool cover. Dark Horse, me. I kind of tend to stay away from Dark Horse unless it's something really cool. This is also an issue number 4, and I haven't heard a lot of buzz about the series, so I'm probably gonna pass on that. If there's a really really cool cover, which this is a cool cover, I just wouldn't say it's really really cool. I might still get it, but Count Crowley, Amateur Midnight Monster Hunter. Oh shit! I clicked on the wrong thing. That's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I wouldn't say it's great. Go back. Da, da, da. Man, I missed so much last month because they forgot to put the damn pictures on here. And I've seen like titles that are on like number 2 where I would have picked up the number 1. And so that's so frustrating. I can't even describe like how frustrated that is, like that makes me, like to think that I might have missed a good number 1. It's like, you're killing me. Critical Role. That's a cool cover. That's Dark Horse though. Generally not a huge fan. Some people love this Mike Magnolia stuff. I mean, a lot of people love it. It doesn't really float my boat, but some people like it. This would be stuff that I would be carrying in the store if the store was up, but because it's not up yet, I'm probably just going to pass on that for right now. Joy Operations. I think I've picked this up, and I do like the covers. This in particular is a really cool cover. But at issue number 5, if I haven't heard a lot of buzz by issue number 5, I'm probably going to pass. That's probably going to end up biting me at some point, but it's just the way it is. You got to cut off. You got to cut your shit off at some point, And so I'll typically, if there's a line that I was kind of specking on, I'll give it till about issue 3 where I'm still picking it up. And if nothing's happened by then, as far as like the price going up, I tend to drop it. See, like this is something that I miss. This was the number 1 that I didn't see, and this looks kind of cool. It looks creepy and demonic. Demonic's not necessarily a good thing, but like it does look creepy, and I love the contrast. Tim's always talking about the contrast. Norse mythology, I'm definitely carrying, but so I typically just pick up these David Mack covers because I think they're great. This is also another number 1 that I missed last month. So frustrating. Radio Spacemen Mission to Numa 4. It's a Mike Magnolia number 1. Okay. Grab it. Stranger Things, they have just been pumping and pumping and pumping. Sometimes I'll bite, sometimes I won't. I'm kind of just at the point to where I don't. If it's got a great cover, I might think about it, but I probably wouldn't anyway. We Have Demons. Scott Snyder. For some reason, that name sounds very familiar. Oh, I like that. That's cool looking. Fucking scary. Yeah, okay, so this is a Dark Horse that I probably would pick up. Yeah, we'll just grab all three covers. And the foil, so that's like a shiny. See how it says foil? That means it's the same cover, but it's got like kind of a gloss, like a shiny finish to it. So we'll pick up one of those too. And then it goes into. So normally I would sort this a little bit differently, but I figured I could just look through it. These, so I think I've said this before, but like anytime you see TP or HC, these are trade paperbacks. They are hardcover trade paperbacks, and these are more like the books. Which if it's something really special, kind of like the Sin City thing. Every once in a while, if it's something that I'm personally into, I'll grab it. Sin City, me, I like when that movie came out. I remember everybody was just like, "Oh, this is incredible! What a great comic book film!" And I watched it a few times, and I didn't think it was all that great, but some people like it. Some people like it. Trade paperback. This Maze book, that's one of the few books that I've been carrying. If I don't hear like a lot of buzz here soon, I'm probably going to drop it. Trade paper. Okay, now we've gotten into DC. So I almost kind of want to skip the DC since we've already done it, and I'll just go back and do it by myself. So typically that means I would just jump down here. I use these little filters, and I go straight to IDW, which I think IDW does. Yeah, so they do like some of the. I don't buy a lot of the shit. Like, to be honest, it's got to be something real unique, or a really killer cover. Or a number one like this. I'll probably grab whatever the hell this is just because it's a number one. So Sonic, believe it or not, like the number ones actually tend to do fairly well. So I'll grab that. Let's see. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I always grab the number ones of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The annual is actually kind of tempting. Yeah, why not? It's not really my thing, but they tend to be good speculation books, so that's why I grabbed that. Usagi, not a big fan. Don't really know what this is. It's a trade paperback. So yeah, the IDW is typically really, really small. Image is my favorite stuff generally. I'm just a really big fan. Uh, not to say that I buy more Image. I probably buy less Image, but the things that come out by Image that are good tend to be really, really good. And the writing, I really, really dig like some of the writers. And just some of the lines in general right now by Image are really, really good. So this is not something that I've been carrying. No. One shot me. One shot. Astro City. Bolero. See, I feel like I missed this. That actually looks kind of cool. Crossover. I picked that up. Donny Cates is a lot like James Tynion to me in the sense that like the books that he puts out, I typically buy him. He's one of the better writers that's like writing right now for throughout. Like I think he writes for Marvel as well as Image. He may write for DC too. I just can't think of anything that he does for them. But Donny Cates is really good. He did that Venom line that was out like 2 years ago. It was really good. And so crossover, I've been picking up since the beginning. I like this cover a lot better than this cover. This is actually looks like an homage to X-Men. So I gotta get that, man. Ghost Cage. Definitely getting that. Number 1. That's a cool fucking cover, too. It just looks cool. Hell, I might get 2 of those. So yeah, that's my measuring stick. Meaning like, so like on a normal run, I'll typically just buy like 2 copies. But if there's something I really dig, I'll think about it, and like especially like a number 1, I might get 3 or 4. If it's really, really, really good, I'll get 6 or more. Girl Scouts, no thanks. Gunslinger Spawn, I've been picking that up. I'm not a huge fan of Spawn, but people love Spawn. They're good specs, and McFarlane is just. I love Todd McFarlane, and his books are always like the most. Like it's $1.94, man. I mean, he's gone out of his way to keep his books cheap, and I will buy them for no other reason. As long as they stay that price, man, I'll keep buying Spawn. So, thanks, buddy. And you wouldn't have Image Comics if it wasn't for Todd McFarlane. Homesick Pilots, I'll actually buy both covers, even though I can't see this one. Most of the time, I'll get both if it's a good line, and this seems to be really popular. But to me, it's like he's in a hat. It's just Spawn in a different hat, like with a gun. Like so, I don't know. I don't know jack shit. Maybe Spawn has a gun anyway. I don't know. Feel free to educate me on that one later. Joe Hill's Rain. I do believe I've been picking this up. Joe Hill is Stephen King's son. He's also a really good writer. The big hit in the comic world. I'll be buying Joe Hill most of the time, especially early in a run like this. I've bought a lot of that Lock and Key shit that he wrote too. So this one I'm probably just going to go with the cover A. Philadelphia is one of those books where I pick it up and then I drop it, and I pick it up and then I drop it. Until further notice, I think I'm just buying Philadelphia. That's just going to be one of the lines that I buy. King of Spies. Been getting King of Spies. I haven't read it, but from what I've heard, it's actually pretty good. And so I think I've gotten every issue so far. I love the black and white covers, but I'm probably just going to switch to the cover A. King Spawn. I've been buying that. Once again, McFarlane. Can't say no to that price. Little Monsters, Jeff Lemire. Jeff Lemire is another great writer, man. It's the thing about Image is, I mean, you've got Donny Cates, freaking Joe Hill, Todd McFarlane, who's the founder of Image Comics, Jeff Lemire. All these guys are great writers. Robert Kirkman wrote The Walking Dead. Image is just far and away. Like if you like to read comic books, especially like as an adult, and you don't really like if the superhero stuff doesn't like float your boat, but you still want to read, Image is just the way to go. I can't say enough great things about them. Like when I ran the store before, which by the way, I don't know if I've mentioned that before, but this is my second time owning a comic book store. Well, it's actually the same store. It's just we shut down during the pandemic, and now we're starting it back up. But when the store was running before, I had a great relationship with Image. They would send me free stuff. Just great customer service. Super friendly. If I ever had any issues, I could always call. I mean, they were just the best, man. And so, and I'm a big fan of the stuff that they put out. So, I dig it. I dig them the most. Loaded Bible blood. What? Loaded Bible blood of my blood. All right, I gotta read this. Oh fuck! I clicked the wrong thing. Oh well. Loaded Bible is back. I didn't know it was ever gone. Somebody did Suicide Squad and Red Sonja. Covers by Mirko Andolfo. That's kind of cool. Decades after. Jesus Vampire Hunting clone. All right. All right. You sold me Loaded Bible. All right. All right. Let's go back up. Okay. Loaded Bible. Yeah, I'll pick up Loaded Bible. Blood of my blood. Sounds cool. So Magic Order I've been picking up because it got picked up for a show on Netflix. Haven't read any of it, but those can do well. Like I said, I'll probably just pick up the cover A on this one. Sweet Paprika. This is not my thing. I like Mirko Andolfo. I think she's incredibly talented. But this is a very strange... It's a hypersexualized book about like demons and angels or something. I tried to read the first one and it was not... it did not blow my skirt up. It tried. But if you're into sexy little demon chicks banging angel dudes, which they're literally banging in this comic, there you go. Get you a little sweet paprika. Sprinkle a little sweet paprika on it. I'm gonna pass on sweet paprika. But if the store was up, I'd probably be buying sweet paprika. A ton of covers. Monkey Meat. I've definitely been buying Monkey Meat. Sometimes I'm such a sucker for like corny names, man. Like that one. I've been buying that one. What was the Chicken Devil? I was buying Chicken Devil. Whenever there's a funny name like that, I don't know. It grabs me. Maybe I'll get around to actually reading it at some point. They tend to never be as funny as I think they will be. But what a great name. Monkey Meat. New Masters number 2. Once again, thanks for screwing me, Midtown. Not putting the damn pictures up. Missed that shit. I guess I'll buy number 2 just in case. Who knows? New Burn, I've definitely been buying that. Chip Zdarsky, another great writer, man. I mean, you just go down the list and it's like banger after banger after banger. So many good writers for Image. Noctera, I'm not carrying anymore. Ordinary Gods, drop that. Radiant Black, I dropped that. Radiant Red, no thanks. Maybe I should, because I think Radiant Black number 1 actually did do a little bit, so fuck it. I'll buy Radiant Red number 1. Those spin-off comics never tend to be great. Rogue Sun number 2. Once again, thank you for screwing me last time. I'm going to be bitching about that for like the next 3 episodes probably. Ha ha ha. I'm so happy this is back. Look, guys, if you haven't read Saga, do yourself a favor and go read it. I mean, this is... I don't want to be like dramatic or anything, but this is one of the best things that happened to comic books since The Walking Dead, probably. Brian K. Vaughan, he's just a tremendous writer. I've been captivated all the way through. They announced that they were bringing it back like a couple months ago, and so as soon as the previews started coming out, like I started ordering Saga again, and I had waited... Shit, man, he was on hiatus for like 3 or 4 years, and it was just like, you gotta finish the story, and he got to the halfway point, and he went on this extended break, and I was just like, man, I hope this comes back soon. Like, this is just great. Um, I've read all of them. They're phenomenal. It's one of my favorite active lines in comic books right now. The story's great. The art is fantastic. It subverts every expectation you would ever have for a comic book. It's thrilling. It's chilling. It's romantic. Um, it's real. It captures like this sense of like realism and like how even though it's sci-fi and it's about aliens, it captures how people actually interact with one another way better than I've ever seen a comic book capture that. Like it's you could imagine these things like happen like the interaction between people and like the conversations that they have like it feels so organic and like so natural. I can't say enough good things about this book. It's phenomenal. I can't wait until the next one comes out. I think this is the second one from the second release. Uh, so I'll be reading the shit out of this. I can't wait, man. This is one that like I would literally. I mean, I could do a whole fucking show probably just about Saga. Like you could look at pictures and shit of it. Um, but it's awesome. The characters are freaking cool as shit, and like this is just great, man. Both of these guys. I think this guy his name's the Will, and this is Lying Cat, and it's awesome. I'm so happy this came back. But yeah, we're gonna be getting that. We're gonna be getting multiples of this. That's my jams. I love this cover. Holy shit. The Scorched. Huh. This is something that I'm not real sure what it is, but it looks cool as hell. It looks like Fallout meets zombies or something. I don't know if I've been ordering this or not. I'm ordering this cover though. It's cool as hell. Oh shit, there's a Todd McFarlane cover too. Hell yeah. Silver Coin, some people loved it. I thought it was okay. I bought the first few. Kind of dropped it after a while. Slumber number one. Yeah, I get number ones. We buy number ones here. Spawn, you know it. Todd McFarlane cover. If Todd McFarlane does a cover of anything, I buy it. Like, that's just buy it. If you see it, buy it. I don't think you're gonna lose. No, I'm doing a little Stillwater one shot. That's kind of cool. This is actually a decent series. It's got a cool little concept behind it. Um, it's about like this town where nobody ages. It's just really interesting. But I typically don't buy one shots, and I believe I kind of like stopped carrying this. So probably gonna pass. Definitely stopped carrying this. I've been buying Walking Dead Deluxes, and typically, um, I'll just pick between whatever cover it is that I like. The Julian Tedesco is actually pretty cool. I've always hated that cover. It's just like a nasty zombie mouth. Okay, so we'll get that one. And I think this one's actually really cool. What's the furthest place from here? This is done really great. I'm going to keep buying it. Zombies versus robots. That sounds cool. Yeah, we're definitely getting that. Okay, and so now we've made it to the hardcover stuff. I'll look at them, but typically I don't buy any. It's got to be something really special. Um, Okay, guys. Well, I may do another one of these here pretty soon, but my voice is kind of feeling a little scratchy. I'm still in the midst of recovering. I promise I'm going to do some video games soon. As soon as I feel better, we're going to have 3 hour long streams again. But for now, I'm going to have to try to keep the witching hour at an hour. I don't want to do too much, so I don't want to screw up my voice or lose my voice or anything like that. But this was really fun. I was really glad that I'm able to get back to it. And I appreciate. I saw that we were getting some more views and stuff on our channel, which is awesome. Uh, as well as our YouTube channel is getting some more stuff uploaded there. Uh, so yeah, come check us out. I should be ready to go on Sunday for betting on balls. And if I don't do another witching hour before then I will see everybody there on Sunday. It was real. It was fun. It was real fun. This is uh, this is Tim. This is Tim signing off. Y'all have a good night.